So good morning, champion. Good afternoon, champions. So welcome to our today's analysis. Hoping that you are still fine. Hoping that your weekend was fantastic. So I'd like to officially welcome you to our weekly analysis. And today we are going to be analyzing the GBPUSD. So far I know you have well known that the GBPUSD together with the AUD USD and also the Euro USD usually tend to have the same movement. So I will be analyzing with you guys from the monthly time frame, that is, to the weekly time frame, all the way through to the hourly time frame. So looking at the analysis from the monthly time frame, so you can see that, let me start from a significant point. So you can see that we have experienced some several touches to the upside, and it is as if the market is respecting this particular trend that is here. So you can see that the market are respecting the trend line that is here. So you can see the three touches above it. So you can see our first touch in this area, our second touch in this area, our third touch in this area, and then you can see that the market started moving toward the downside. That is to make a move to the downside. And you can see that this move in the future is going to be a very strong point of support, as we are going to see. So you can see that we had our first touch in the trend line above, our another touch here below. Then we had a move to the upside to these particular levels that are here. You can see that this was a kind of a very strong point of resistance. So you can see after coming to this particular region, this was like a shallow touch to this particular trend line that is here, and then we had a move to the downside to this particular level that are here. So you can see we had a touch to this particular level, which became a point of support. You can see that previously it acted as a point of resistance. So you can see these several touches. These are like three touches: the first touch, the second touch, the third touch to this particular level that are here. And then you can see that later on, when we had this breakout to the upside, that is a movement to the upside, you can see that the market came to a retest to this particular point because it previously acted as a point of resistance. And then we had a move toward the upside. So you can see that here we have got a move to the upside, came and made a touch to this particular trend line, still respecting this particular trend line, not moving above it. Then we had a move to the downside, came to this particular level that here created a breakout to the downside. That is, so this was a kind of a double triangle. So the first triangle, the second triangle, and moved to the downside, came to this particular level. So you can see that it came to these particular levels here. This was also previously acting as a very strong point. So you can see this was a very strong point of support that is here. So you can see attached in those areas that are there, attached in these particular levels here. Then you can see that we had a move to the upside. So they came to this particular point of resistance that is here, mainly because you can see that previously the same region acted as a very strong point of support. That's why you can see that the markets are now acting out, making it to become a region of resistance. So we had that a small consolidation, a move to the upside, a move to the downside, a move to the upside again. So we had touches that were in between this particular point of resistance and also a point of support. Then the market came and made kind of middle point in between the point of resistance and also the point of support. You can see that it was in this level. So you can see that it previously acted as a point of support, a small point of support, which was also characterized in these two levels. So you can see this, our first touch, our second touch, then our third touch, another move to the upside again. Then we experienced a move to the downside. So we had a move to this particular point of support, a retest to this particular point, and then we had a breakout to the downside to this particular level that are here. And then we also had a creation of a new region. So you can see this was a region of consolidation, mainly because the market were moving in between this particular point of support and also this particular point of resistance that is here. We had a move to the downside, that is to this particular level that are here, a move to the upside to this level here. This again, it acted as a point of resistance, mainly because you can experience it in this level. This was a very strong point of resistance, also acting in the middle between the point of resistance and also the point of support that is here. We had another move to the downside, then after this particular retest. So you can see this is a W shape. A W shape formation always a confirmation that the market want to move to the upside. We had this move to the upside, a move to the downside. So what am I currently expecting? You can see that I've placed in a long position because I'm expecting that the markets are going to reach to this that particular level, create a touch to this particular, have a retest to this particular point of trend line that is here. You can see this particular trend line because what I'm expecting, since we have experienced a lot of or several touches that is to this particular point of support, what I'm expecting is that the market are preparing themselves to create a breakout that is to a breakout to the upside. So I'm expecting that the market are going to have a small pullback to this particular level that are here, and then later on create a breakout that is going to move to those particular levels. So that is the analysis from the monthly time frame. So moving into the weekly time frame to be able to see the market in a different view. So looking at the market from the weekly time frame, so okay. So looking at the market from the weekly time frame, we are seeing that you have got an upward trend. So this is an upward trend as you can see it. So a very fantastic upward trend. So you can see that we had a breakout to the downside in this particular level. So I'm not going to move back further, but I think up to this particular level it is easier for you to understand the kind of patterns that are being created by the market. So you can see that in these particular levels here we had a breakout to the downside. So we had a move to the downside to this particular level that are here, and also we had a move to the upside to these particular levels here. Because this is a very strong point of resistance, that is what we expect the market to behave. So this was a kind of consolidation here, a double triangle formation, or you can see a name formation, a breakout to the downside, that is to this particular point of support. We had a move to the upside to this particular point of resistance, a move to the downside again to this particular level that are here. We had a W shape. So you can see this is a general W shape. So this is a W shape formation, creating or mentally preparing us for a breakout to the upside. That is, so you can see that the markets only came to this particular point. Why did the market come to this particular point? Because previously you can see that it acted as a point of support. So this is a whole region of point of support. So the market made just a retest to this particular point of support before further moving towards the upside, and you can see this kind of breakout that is happening currently. So you can see that the market went above this particular trend line that is here, came back for a retest, then we had a move again, uh, then we had a change of pattern where you can see that we have got a kind of a downward trend to these particular levels, but still it's as if the market want to create a clear breakout. So you can see that we had a move to this particular level, another touch to this kind of a retest also to this particular trend that is here. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting that though the market have created this small pattern of a downward movement, or you can see that this trend line that are in between here. So you can see this kind of a downward pattern or a bullish trend. But what I'm expecting is that the markets are going to create a breakout to the upside that is above. So I'm expecting that the markets are going to break above this particular point of support that is here, which I'm expecting it not to again act as a point of resistance as it had acted in this particular region. So I'm expecting that the markets are going to rise to this particular level that are here. So that's why you can see that I've placed in this long position that is here, still expecting that the markets are going to move toward the upside. So again, make sure that whenever you're taking any trades, always ensure that you're placed in always manage your risk. So don't over trade, that is. So moving into the daily time frame, you can see that the downward trend that we are talking about, this is the exact downward trend that you are seeing here. So this is the trend line, and the first trend line that is here, and the second trend line that is below. You can see that there were significant patterns that were easily predictable. So you can see that we had a touch to this particular point of support, a move to the upside to this particular level. We had a move to the downside to this particular level that are here, an M formation. You can see this is a clear M formation, a retest to these particular levels, a breakout to the downside as usual. Then we had this particular pattern that was being created here. So we had this particular pattern, a pyramid, a move again to this particular point. So you can see this is a very strong point of support. So when it came to this particular point of that previously acted as a point of support, this time round became a point of resistance, creating further breakout to the downside. That is again from this particular region that was here. You can see that the market has created a very easy pattern towards the upside, that is to come to these particular levels that are here to this particular trend line that is right here. Then we are experiencing this move here. So these are some of the things that are assuring me that the markets are preparing themselves to move towards the upside. You can see that you can see you have got the inverse head and shoulders. So you can see this looks like a head, and then you have got these two shoulders, kind of preparing us, and the markets are currently preparing themselves to move towards the upside. So what I'm currently waiting, you can see that I've got this long position that is placed. I'm looking forward that when the market, you can see that the market rose to these particular levels here, came to this the market rose to this particular level. We had a retest to these particular levels that are here to this particular point of support, a move to the upside. So the move that I'm currently expecting is that the markets are going to move from these particular levels here to rise above, so to break this particular trend line. So you can see this trend line that is moving toward the upside. What I'm currently expecting is that the market are going to move above it, kind of creating a change of patterns. That is, so that is it when it comes to the daily time frame. So let us move to the hourly time frame. So looking at the market from the hourly perspective, so you can see that this was the upward trend. So you can see this very easy to predict upward trend. So you can see that we had a touch to those particular levels. So this is a higher high. Then we come to this higher low, a creation of another higher high that was higher than the previous high. Then you can see that we are having some sort of small consolidation. um, we can see some formations. So one can say this is an name formation, but it's a false confirmation. You can see several consolidation that we are seeing there. I was expecting that from this particular point, that because we have experienced a lot of touches to this particular trend line that is below here, I was expecting that this time round when the green candlesticks opens, it is going to create a breakout that is to the upside. But you can see that this green, I mean red candlestick, it is due to the opening of the New York session. So I'm just expecting that this is just a volatility of the market, but then generally I'm expecting that the market are supposed to move toward the upside. So currently you can see that I'm in this trade. So currently expecting that the markets are going to reach this particular level. We can experience a retest to this particular point here. There's a reason as to why I'm talking about this point becoming a retest, because you can see that from these particular levels, you can see that here we had a very strong point of support. So I'm expecting that this time around, the markets are going to have this region as a point of support that is going to make the market to gain the momentum to move toward the upside, creating a breakout and further moving towards the upside. So thank you guys for that wonderful session. It is always my prayers that may the tips always be with you. So for the whole of this week, what we are expecting from Euro, I mean the Euro USD, AUD USD, and the GBP USD, we are expecting more buys and more buys than sell. That is to mean that it is not that we are not going to have sell, but we are going to have more buys expected more than even the sales. So